a man builds one of the greatest car companies in history, wins Le Mans 5 times in 7 years, creates cars that royalty and billionaires fight to own, becomes a living legend, then loses everything. His company, his name, his legacy. But here's the tragic part. The man who stole it all, his biggest rival, Rolls-Royce. They didn't just buy his company, they erased him from it, used his name to sell cars he never designed, and forced him to watch for 4 years while they destroyed everything he built. This is the story of W.O. Bentley, a brilliant engineer who created masterpieces but couldn't save himself from the cruelest business betrayal in automotive history. So how did the man who dominated Le Mans end up dying without owning the company that still bears his name? Walter Owen Bentley never wanted to be just another car maker. He wanted to build the fastest, most beautiful, most powerful cars the world had ever seen. Cars that would dominate racetracks and redefine what luxury meant. And for a decade, he did exactly that. Bentley won Le Mans in 1924. Then 1927, 1928, 1929, and 1930. 5 victories. An unstoppable dynasty. The Bentley boys became legends. Wealthy playboys racing green machines across France. Champagne flowing. Glory everywhere. But behind the victories, behind the champagne celebrations, behind the newspaper headlines, W.O. was drowning. Because he had one fatal flaw. He was a genius engineer, but a terrible businessman. And when the Great Depression hit in 1929, that flaw would cost him everything. His rival Rolls-Royce saw an opportunity, and they took it. Ruthlessly, they used a secret shell company, outbid everyone at auction, and stole Bentley right from under him. What happened next is one of the most heartbreaking stories in business history. Born in 1888, W.O. Bentley grew up in a wealthy London family. But he didn't want his father's money. He wanted to build things. At 16, he became a railway engineer. By 1912, he was selling French cars with his brother. Then World War I changed everything. W.O. designed aluminium pistons for airplane engines. The British military awarded him an MBE. In 1919, he made a decision. He would build his own car, the Bentley 3 Litre, and in 1924, it won Le Mans. W.O. unveils the Bentley 3 Litre in 1919. By 1924, it wins Le Mans. The automotive world goes insane. Bentley becomes a household name overnight. Then, the Bentley boys arrive. Wealthy British playboys racing W.O.'s cars. Wolf Barnato, a diamond mining heir, becomes Bentley's biggest investor. He races Le Mans 3 times. Wins all 3. Between 1924 and 1930, Bentley wins Le Mans 5 times, 5 victories in 7 years. Royalty commissions, custom models. Celebrities fight to own them. W.O. is living the dream. But here's what nobody saw coming. Every victory was costing him a fortune. He designed the 6.5 litre, then the 8 litre. Each more powerful, more expensive to build. Then in October 1929, the stock market crashed. Luxury car sales collapsed. Bentley Motors was drowning in debt. By 1931, is desperate. The company is hemorrhaging money. Banks are demanding repayment. Investors are walking away. On July 10, 1931, a court-appointed receiver takes control of Bentley Motors. The company is officially bankrupt. W.O. is devastated. His life's work is collapsing. But there's still hope. Napier Son, another British engineering company, offers to buy Bentley. They want to keep the brand alive, keep W.O. as the chief designer. W.O. is relieved. At least his legacy will survive. The deal is almost done. Just paperwork left. Then something strange happens. At the auction, a mysterious company called British Central Equitable Trust makes a sealed bid, £125,000. Higher than Napier's offer. They win. W.O. doesn't know who bought his company. Nobody does. W.O. doesn't know who bought his company. Nobody does. The buyer's identity is kept secret. For weeks, W.O. waits, wondering who controls his future. Then, the truth comes out. British Central Equitable Trust was a front company, a fake shell corporation created for one purpose: to hide the real buyer. Rolls-Royce, his biggest rival, had just stolen his company right from under him. In secret, through deception. And here's the cruelest part. Rolls-Royce didn't buy Bentley to keep it alive. They bought it to kill it. The Bentley 8 Litre was threatening sales of Rolls-Royce's most expensive car, the Phantom II. Rich customers were choosing Bentley over Rolls-Royce. So Rolls-Royce eliminated the competition. They shut down the Cricklewood factory, stopped production of the 8 Litre immediately, sold off Bentley's racing assets, and then they did something unforgivable. They forced W.O. Bentley to work for them. By court order, as part of the bankruptcy settlement, W.O. had to stay at Rolls-Royce for 4 years. No choice, no escape, no way out. He was contractually obligated to design cars for the company that had just destroyed his legacy. W.O. later described it as feeling like being trapped, like watching someone wear his name while destroying everything it stood for. Rolls-Royce turned Bentley into the silent sports car. Soft, quiet, refined. Gone were the roaring engines, the racing pedigree, the raw power. Bentley became a Rolls-Royce with a different badge. And W.O. had to watch. Every single day for 4 years. In 1935, W.O.'s contract finally expired. He was 47 years old, free at last, but broken. He left Rolls-Royce immediately and joined Lagonda, another luxury car maker. And here's where the story gets bittersweet. At Lagonda, W.O. designed his masterpiece, the V12 Lagonda, a 4.5-litre 12-cylinder engine producing 180 horsepower. The New York Times called it the finest car in the world. Rolls-Royce tried to sue him, claimed he was violating his contract. They lost in court. W.O. kept building, kept designing, kept creating. But he never got his name back from 1931 until his death in 1971. Every car with Bentley on it wasn't his. They were Rolls-Royce cars wearing his name. For 40 years, W.O. watched strangers profit from his legacy. He married 3 times, never had children, lived quietly in Surrey. He wrote books about his victories, but the company that bore his name, it belonged to someone else. In 1971, W.O. Bentley died at 82 in a Woking nursing home. Respected, admired, revered, but he died without ever owning the company he created. So here's what you need to understand about W.O. Bentley's story. He wasn't defeated by bad cars, he wasn't defeated by lack of talent, he wasn't defeated by business. W.O. was a genius who could design engines that dominated Le Mans. But he couldn't read a balance sheet. He valued perfection over profit, glory over growth, and in the ruthless world of business, that's a fatal flaw. Rolls-Royce understood something W.O. never did. It doesn't matter how good your product is if you can't survive financially. They let W.O. build the legend. Let him win the races. Let him create the prestige. Then they bought it for pennies on the dollar when he went bankrupt. Today, Bentley is worth over $11 billion, owned by Volkswagen since 1998. The cars still carry W.O.'s name, still use his winged B logo, still represent luxury and performance. But W.O. himself, He spent the last 40 years of his life as a designer for companies most people have never heard of. His story is a brutal reminder. You can be the best in the world at what you do. You can win every race, build the most beautiful machines ever created, but if you don't protect your business, someone will take it from you, and they'll use your name to do it. W.O. Bentley built an empire, and Rolls-Royce stole it while he was forced to watch. That's not just tragic. That's the cruelest lesson in business history. If you found this story heartbreaking, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss the untold stories behind the world's greatest brands. Drop a comment below. What other legendary companies should we uncover next? Thanks for watching.